Senator Sanders, you're the only one on this stage that voted to deregulate the financial market in 2000, to take the cops off the street, to use Governor O'Malley's phrase, to make the SEC and the Commodities Futures Trading Commission no longer able to regulate swaps and derivatives, which were one of the main cause of the collapse in 2008.
Sounds pretty bad, right? I mean, the guy who goes on and on about how bad Wall Street is actually voted for the bill that crashed the economy? So much for all that political revolution stuff. But here's the thing. Hillary Clinton isn't telling a true story about Bernie Sanders and his vote for the Commodity Futures Modernization Act, the CFMA. She's not telling a true story. As Robert Scheer has pointed out over at Truth Dig, then Congressman Sanders voted for the CMFA not because he wanted to, but because he had no choice. The CMFA had been shoved into an omnibus spending bill at the last minute, at the end of the year, as part of a deal between Republicans and President Bill Clinton. This is in 2000. And because this was at a time, you know, Congress actually did its job, Sanders bit the bullet and voted for the whole package, CFMA included, to make sure the government got the money it needed to keep running. It was to avoid a government shutdown. Only 4 members of Congress ended up opposing the final spending bill that included the CFMA. And one of them was Ron Paul, who opposes every spending bill. But that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to how dishonest Clinton was being when she called Bernie out for voting for the CFMA. Even if Bernie had a good reason to vote for that omnibus spending bill, like preventing a government shutdown, Sanders was angry at the time and later that he had been forced, essentially, at the legislative version of gunpoint, into deregulating Wall Street. And so he struck back hard in 2008 when President-elect Obama picked former Treasury official and Goldman Sachs bankster Gary Gensler to head up the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the CFTC. During his time at Treasury, Gensler had pushed hard for Wall Street deregulation, and he even helped write the CFMA, the Commodity Futures Modernization Act, something now Senator Bernie Sanders found unacceptable. And so Bernie moved to block Gensler's nomination in the Obama administration. Senator Sanders explained his actions during an appearance on Democracy Now!
I don't believe that we need more of the same old, same old. The philosophy that Gensler espoused when he was working for Bill Clinton in the Treasury Department was strongly deregulation, was the Robin Rubin theory of economics, and in many respects accentuated by 8 years of George Bush, that type of deregulation activity, the repeal of Glass-Steagall, the putting derivatives under the radar screen, deregulating that, and allowing these transactions to take place without public notice. These are the actions that took us to where we are right now.
Although Sanders did succeed in blocking Gensler's nomination, his victory was short-lived. The hold was only temporary, and the Senate ended up approving Gensler as head of the CFTC on March 16, 2009. He held that post until 2014, when he was succeeded by Timothy Massett. So what's Gary Gensler, the guy who promoted the CFMA? What's this guy up to today? Oh, you know, nothing big. He's just the chief financial officer for the Hillary Clinton campaign. Let's sink in. Yeah, that's right. The CFO of the Hillary Clinton campaign. Now, you might be saying, whoa, 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 wait a minute. Didn't Hillary Clinton just attack Bernie Sanders for voting for the Commodity Futures Modernization Act? Can he seriously go after him? Or can she seriously go after Bernie for that when her CFO is the guy who helped write it? Well, she can and she did. This is apparently what the Clintons do. They play dirty. But it doesn't make it right, and it doesn't make it good for the Democratic Party. One of the really admirable things about the Democratic race for president so far has been the absence of the kind of nasty, dirty politics that we see all too often on the other side of the aisle among Republicans. We Democrats actually have real debates about real issues, and we should keep it that way. And a candidate running for major office, as a candidate, Hillary Clinton has every right to point out her opponent's track record on key issues. But she should do it honestly. She should do so in a way that enlightens the public instead of confusing us like this.
Senator Sanders, you're the only one on this stage that voted to deregulate the financial market in 2000.
If that dishonest attack on Bernie Sanders' CFA vote is just a preview of where the Clinton campaign intends to take this race, and we're in for a long and very distressing primary season. And that's the way it is tonight, Wednesday, January 20th, 2016. And don't forget, democracy begins with you. Get out there, get active, tag, you're it.